And we are live. We're here with MiniMatties and a Celica. Just going to double check that everything is live, actually. I think we're working. Yeah, awesome.
Looks like it.
It's working. So yeah, we are live with episode 3 of the Painting Table podcast, and today we have MiniMatties and a Celica. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about our previous projects we've done throughout the month, a bit of a progress report, and also we're going to be doubling down, focusing on A7 because he's got a competition literally in a week's time. To 2 weeks' time, was it?
2 weeks, yes.
2 weeks' time. So we're going to be going over that and just asking you a couple of questions. So yeah, A7, do you want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, peeps. I think some of you may refer me as A7, some of you as Zelka. I'm a miniature painter from Malaysia. Been painting for roughly 2 years now. And yeah, I just enjoy the hobby.
You got into it?
Simple as that. Yeah.
Because I remember you
And
from 2 years back jumping into our stream, and then and then you joined into the community and got very much involved with the community, and then started streaming yourself as well.
And that was the funny story. I think I thought I might add this. Yeah, Squid and MiniMatties were among the first few streamers that I caught.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
It was a really enjoyable journey.
Once we got you, we'll never let you go.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like a strange formation / friendship that's grown purely through online over the last and of course you do more stuff as well because you socialize on the Discords and things, and you know it's kind of growing the community that way. I think you've got your own Discord now as well.
I do, but yeah, it's I just want to say it's an amazing community. The overall hobby community. Yeah,
it is, man. Yeah, it's amazing. We're not going to get too emotional here. That we save that for Christmas. For Matty's super emotional Christmas specials that he does.
Yes.
Each year. I think there's a bit of tears shed on that last one.
There's always basically like every Secret Santa event. There's tears happening. Which, by the way, for everyone in chat who is interested, and you as well, Squid, sign-ins are open again for this year. Just saying. Sign
up to there. Yeah. I think I'll definitely be joining in again. So I had a great time last year. It was lovely seeing everybody, and yeah, it was really nice. That was my first time participating in it, so yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think it was the 3rd time organizing, so this year will be the 4th time actually organizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always just great fun to do.
It's just got bigger and bigger each year, hasn't it, really?
Yep.
Exactly.
So, I mean, well, let's start off the podcast. Welcome everybody who's just joined us, for those of you who are watching it live or those of you who are joining us on YouTube. So we start this podcast that's about learning to display paint and the journey that we take on that road. And I think we're going to be trying to go to some competitions. So there's a primary emphasis on that. But just to catch you all up, I'm going to start off with Matty's. We're going to jump into one of his pictures of one of his recent projects, and we're going to talk you through some of our recent stuff so you can see what we've all been doing. So let's pan through the magic of Streamlabs, and we've got a picture of a beautiful turtle up on the stream.
Yes. So I think compared to last time, I don't even think we had the time last time to actually show him off. But he definitely got a bit more color now, especially for the ones that have seen him in the Discord. Yeah, so this will be my 2nd entry for the skill model challenge. Luckily, I still have quite some time since the event is in October here in the Netherlands. Actually, near the end of October. Here on the picture, I basically need to do the yes, he is. Basically, need to do the turtleneck and a bit of the neck definitions in general. And then it's time to move on to the big shell on the back Got some other bips and bobs by now here actually that I need to paint that are going onto the base later on.
Yeah.
Because the idea behind the piece, like all of my pieces, I want to have a story included. And from the maker of this model, Zaba, he is called the Egg Protector. So the idea is basically he protects the eggs with his big bong stick that he got there. But in my piece, I'll kind of turn it around. So I'll have a nest on the floor with 2 remaining eggs in there. But the nest is definitely big enough to at least hold 2 more. And the eggs in the nest will be in the same color scheme as the one he's holding and the one on this belt, the gray with orange ones. So instead of the egg protector, he's just out to get some lunch, basically, and the big bonk sticks to make sure that daddy or mommy are not bothering him. Yeah,
that's it.
Just giving it a little twist on the story.
It's really cute, and of course you did another one of these last year that you brought along with you.
Yeah, so they're basically from the same line from Zaba. So last year it was Donko. This year it's Bronco.
Donko and Bronco.
So Zaba needs to get back to work for next year because I need another turtle.
You're not fancying a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle model?
I mean, in the end, if I have 4 and they're in different color schemes, then we basically got them, right?
Oh yeah. Different weapons, but they look very cool. The best turtles. They are amazing. I love it. I love like the color composition of this. I love that sky blue. Like, it goes into such a white blue as well.
Yeah, so the pictures are a tiny bit off, sadly, because there is a bit more of a turquoisey tealy color in there.
Right.
So I mixed quite a lot of emerald from AK into the blues and the blue greens that I used.
Yeah.
And sadly, the camera doesn't really pick those up that well. So he is a bit more on the tealy side than the pictures show. It's not just pure sky blue. There's a bit more green in there.
Okay. So how would you best capture that in the future? Would you have to try and do it with a DSLR?
I might have to. I can try next time when I'm over at Lizzie or when she's here with her cam at a proper like photo booth instead of just hovering it above my desk.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
But hard. It's tough to make proper pictures, especially if the camera doesn't really capture the colors that well.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you can do a bit in the post-editing stage and you can start fiddling about with it.
Yeah.
But it's just figuring it out, isn't it, really? Yeah, I love it. Like, I love all of the texturing that you go for as well. So you've got like a really smooth skin and then plenty of texture in there on the shell itself, on the weapon, and the wood. So I'm quite excited to see how this develops. Like, if you do a couple of different colours and stuff on the weapon, like change the gradients of the wood or anything, or are you going to keep it as is?
I kind of want to keep it as is. Might add a tiny bit of rust and such from the nails.
Yeah.
That basically like seeped into the wood as well. So there's definitely still some stuff that I want to do at some point. But for now, to get like an idea of the whole piece, I'll keep it as it is. It was quite fun actually to paint in the wood grains that like this. Building
so
up
is
the
that
highlights
flat,
on top of the same. Yes.
So this is completely flat, so you completely painted all of that in?
Mostly. There's some lines are in there, but it's mostly flat.
All right. That's a good way of doing it, because then you can practice your freehand a little bit in a way. Just like getting a bit more experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Well, we'll move on to your next piece. We've got the famous Mandalorian, which is beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful.
Finished on May 4th. Kind of had to.
You timed that well, didn't you?
I kind of timed it badly because I was nearly done with the model as well when my stream on May 4th started, and I was like, oh, I was planning to have a full on Star Wars stream and not be done within an hour of that stream, but yeah.
So you've gone quite quick with it, but you've like added some nice texture. You've got really smooth non-met. And I remember you saying that you were practicing with your airbrush on this.
Yeah, so usually all of my projects are like 99% brush only. And with this, I had a couple of references of this bust being painted in painting classes and such, and all of the outcomes.
Right.
Usually Spanish painting classes, and I know they utilize the airbrush quite a lot. So I started sketching in my non-mats the way I do it usually, and at some point I was like, you know what? Let's just try using the airbrush and see what kind of effect I can get with it. So because I sketched a lot already and everything was basically there where I wanted it to be, then going over with the airbrush and just fine-tuning all the blends that you wanted and fine-tuning some of the highlights and the shadowy areas made it so much easier, and the outcome is super smooth all of a sudden. I was like, oh, so that's how they do it. Okay.
Well, it looks amazing.
Then I basically went back in with the brush, some edge highlights, some final lines in and dots on there to finalize the highlights and the shadows, and then went on to the other stuff. Yeah.
My favorite bit particularly is here, the light across the grill. If you can see it on stream, where my hand is, just in front of the face. I love these little bits here. Where it's just caught like a little beam of light or something. Very cool. We've got the leather textures as well.
So the leather is a formula I learned from Arnau during a private coaching that I had with him, and it's quickly became one of my favorite ways to do leather because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And it's actually using skin tones.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sunny skin tones even. So you're going with a nice brown color that you like.
Yeah.
And you're just adding stripes with sunny skin tones, and then you're like glazing it over with like a chestnut ink or maybe even a contrast paint or whatever.
Yeah.
And you repeat that step 2, 3, 4 times, and that's it.
That's cool, man. Like I might use that a little bit with my piece that we'll go into, but I've done a little bit on leather myself, and I've gone for like a brown grey, like a purple brown grey on mine. But we'll come back around to that. But we've also got something else that you like to do here, which is where you transform a figurine into its cel-shaded cartoon version.
Yes. So this one, as well as the Mandalorian bust, actually, will go with me to TwitchCon by the end of next month.
Okay.
And a bunch of other, like all the chibi models that I did and all the other anime figurines and such. Because I have a spot in the artist alley. And I started doing this, let me think, 2 years ago? Yeah, roughly 2 years ago. I saw like someone doing this on Instagram.
Yeah.
A guy by the name Taka Company, and I was like, that looks fun. And because it's something different, I'm always interested in like, how would that work? So at some point I decided to just buy secondhand one of the figurines for cheap, like I think I paid 10-15 quid for it. I decided to just try it and found out that it's quite a relaxing way of painting once you sort of know what to do. And with sort of, I mean, you don't even need to be super precise because in the end, it's mostly random shapes in almost random places.
Yeah, the highlighting's a bit strange on it. Like if you look at the hair, I've just pulled up a zoomed in on the hair.
The hair specifically is an odd one. For the skin, there are some like rules, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The hairs you can do in many ways actually. But yeah, I did it once and I actually quite enjoyed doing it. Beside my longer projects, because these take me between 5 to 10, 12 hours tops.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously the competition pieces and such take up like 50 plus hours from me. So doing these in between is quite fun. So I kept doing it.
I'm glad. I mean, it looks a laugh. It does look a laugh. Have you thought about doing one like this, A7?
I did try to attempt last time, but it looked weird to me.
Which one did you do? Was it a Dragon Ball character?
No, it was a One Piece model.
You got a pick for us?
No. Unfortunately, no, mate.
No, it's all right.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
The thing with this is, for the longest time, it's almost like with non-metallic metals, for the longest time this looks off, like, by a lot. And then all of a sudden you add like the final highlights and you're still like, okay, it's getting there. And then you do the black lining. So especially the black lining makes such a big difference with this.
Right, okay.
But sadly, it's also the last step. So you're like, yeah, I'm not sure if this works. You add some black lines, like, oh, this is pretty cool actually. And it's it's
Once
like the
those
edge
five
highlights
steps.
of non-metallic metals.
Yeah. But the black, you can definitely see the black lining coming into these crevices, coming in around the gloves. Like when you first look at it, you don't really notice it because your eyes sort of do some of the work for you. Particularly on the hair, it's like adding in quite a lot. Weird. And it's also going to hold its own, like if you rotated the model round, as it will hold the same angle throughout the rotation, it's going to like weird you out a little bit as you look at it in person.
Yeah, because you're trying to make it like look like it's from the anime.
Yeah.
Which obviously is 2D and flat. So you need to have a point where your light is coming from, like with your model, basically. But usually whatever is in shadow, like look at the underside of the arm, it's just dark brown, because there are no blends or whatever with cell shading. It's just one color.
Yes, yeah.
So if you're looking at the backside, which I don't have a picture of for a reason, it's mostly just the dark color, because there's not much happening on the back.
Okay. So it's a way of cheating as well, isn't it? There, you're doing half the work.
It's the technique, and yeah, it is what it is.
I think we should all have a go at one of these at some point. Like put like a community challenge out there to do one. I think
they're honestly quite fun to do.
It does look a laugh. I've got one in mind I'd like to do.
Yeah, and I think if you look at like what you can 3D print and such, there's many possibilities to also print busts or whatever from animes.
Yes, yeah.
That lend themselves very well for this style.
That's true actually, because you won't even really need to bother with half the model. It's all just about like the face and stuff.
Usually is, yeah.
I think there is from Nom Nom did a Demon Slayer. I think they've done a Nezuko. That could be a good one to do.
Yep.
Anyways, I'll move on. We've got I think we've got my piece next. So I'm actually doing a Nom Nom miniature at the minute. I've painted up Karlak before on a commission, and this is the second commission that I'm doing from that first one that was generated. But this one, I am allowed to put a lot more time in, so I've been spending a lot more time on it, which has been lovely. So we've been working on. I've got close up of the face. No, that was the first image I did. I think I've took some more. Hang fire. 2 seconds. We pull those up.
This is from the same client as well.
No, it's a different client. Client.
I was about to say, like, was he not happy with your first one? It's like, okay, here's more money. Do your best.
My mouse has disappeared. What's going on here? There we go. Okay, so let me pull up these. Sorry, guys. Seconds.
Wouldn't be one of our podcasts if we didn't have some technical stuff going on, right?
There you go. So that first picture, there was a bit of dust on the face, so I decided to retake them. But essentially, been trying to work and experiment on the skin, and I was following a couple of bits of advice that we had on the last chat we had, and also looking up some other stuff online. I've been trying to watch a couple more streamers when I can as well. So I've been watching AC in the evenings when I can catch his. I've not been able to catch much on Twitch, I'll be honest. So I'm trying to give it a go and have some fun. And I've tried to do like a weird red skin tone, because obviously she is that skin tone. But I had the picture of the game asset up on another monitor, and then I kept looking at it and it was like, something's off. And then when you actually look at the game version of her, she's a lot more red. It's weird. Like, I think but then if I were to go back and do it again, I don't think I would change it, because I've gone into skin tones. So it started off as corn red, and then I've gone and built in more and more and more skin tones. While if I went Mephiston red, it would look a bit different. So I ended up putting a filter over it. So I was painting this up on stream, and I ended up putting a filter, which is the first time I've actually done this, across all of the skin with a Mephiston red filter to try and push some of that more vibrant red into the skin. And I think it worked. And then I've just tried to add some texture and stuff in a few other places. But then I've just gone around and started blocking in all of the leather as well. So basically for the rest of the night after the podcast, I'll be starting on the leathers here. So there's going to be a lot of leather on this model, as you can see. But I think I'll keep the pants more flat and then just keep a lot of the texture for these like leathery strap bits. And then she does come with a giant axe and there's a base. And I'm going to go non-met on this as well and just have a bit of fun with some non-met.
Fancy.
But we're going to go for like very sort of textured non-met. I'm going to try and go for that. Because if you look at like the shoulder panels and the... probably won't be able to get a good picture of this up on the stream for you. But the shoulder pad is like it looks like a rough iron, as well as like a breastplate thing here, which is covered. So I think I'm going to go for like a heavily textured one there.
So heavily textured, less shiny.
Less shiny, and then on the axe, maybe go quite shiny on the edge. Another thing I tried out was the eyes. I've got everybody finds a technique for doing things, but for the eyes, I try to like double down on the iris. So I've made the iris a larger part of the eye, but I tried to sort of like black line the edge of the iris. If that makes sense. But it didn't go to plan like quite as well as I hoped it would. So like I can, looking at it under super zoom, you can see like a correction I need to do here with a little bit more, but it was trying to get like a darker tone around the edge of the eye was a bit of a struggle. I'll probably have to buy some of those super zoom glasses to really go into this properly. But yeah, I'm happy with that.
I mean, you can always go reversed, right? So go from the outside towards the middle. If you want to have that dark outline, start black first. And then just color it in and make it smaller and smaller and smaller. So you keep that black outline right from the start.
I don't think I'll redo it now, but
I would not. It honestly looks great.
If I have to paint her again, then maybe I will. So, I might end up having to do another one at some point, but it's fine. I get you. I'd also I think I'm going to play around with some OSL. So when I looked at some of the game pictures, her hair sort of like has like a flame effect. For those of you who I've not played Baldur's Gate 3 myself. I don't know if you guys have. Some of you in chat might have done, but when I've looked at videos online and a lot did my research, she has like sort of like black hair, but then some of the hairs are like on fire. It looks like the strands, or there's like a flaming aura about them, which is kind of weird. So I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I think I'll start the hair later or leave that to the end. Because if I do it, then I want to put some of the OSL from that onto the axe and things, maybe onto the shoulder pad. Because there's a little bit underneath here, because she has got like a chest glow. It's casting a bit of a glow upwards like that. So far.
Wouldn't that be nearly covered by like the straps and everything?
Mostly covered, yeah. It's mostly covered here. So we've got a little bit on the underside of the neck on that one. And then, so another project I've been working on was my Tomb King. So I actually had some time to finally work on them. And this is like a personal old world slow grow army builder that I've been participating in, which is a mouthful. But I absolutely love the Tomb Kings. I'm loving old world. And I've gone for a very textured approach. So I've done a lot of stippling. For a lot of people, when you look at the face, sorry, or not. Sorry. I felt that one coming and then it was like,
I'm fighting the same issue there.
Oh, God.
I'm there with you.
So basically, I love the look of a Tomb Kings, but every time I see him, they're always like bleach bone and very clean. And I've been to the London museum and I went to an exhibition where they had all of the stuff in. So that's kind of inspired me to do a more accurate mummified look. Because if you actually Google it, they're blackened. Like all of the skin, it's all oxidized. It's all red and black. but on the inside it's more of that brown tone. So I tried to do essentially like a reverse highlighting, which was quite problematic, but I think you can see it more better on like the horses and on the giants. So it was a case of like lots and lots of stippling, and then a bit of experimentation, because like I was like, I didn't really like this. This is taking too long, because I'm meant to be doing an entire 2,000 point army like this. Right, it's going to take me years. So I basically got like a manky old brush, and I've just been like stippling and attacking things. And then I bought some of a new Liquitex fluorescent. It's just there on my camera. It's a very nice bright green. So I wanted to have like a really nice glow effect. And I put it into all the eyes, and then I've put it on the weapon as well. So I think, because there's a lot going on, like when you look at it, there's a lot of different colours. There's a lot of metallics, and there's a lot of true metallic metal here. So there's a lot of like Retributor armor all the way into a silver, right? But for the sword, I wanted to change it around, and I found this really good recipe from, I think it was Sergio Calvo. I might have to link it, but he did like he took Vallejo old gold and then washed it back with a black or an Agrax Earthshade, and then built it in, like went all the way up to ice yellow, right? So it sort of has the metallic element, but then goes into a non-met. It's weird. Like, so I've tried that on the sword, and then I did some freehand sigils here.
It's actually less weird than you think.
Right.
Many of the people that are using TMM at some point are using non-metallic paints like browns, or like you said, the highlight colors, ice yellow, beige, and such.
Yeah.
To either shade the metallics down or highlight them at some point.
Well, it worked really well because it just mats it down enough, you know. Obviously, this lot with the other metallics, that hasn't had that effect, but I did wash this back with Reichland Flesh Shade. So, like, when I want like a nice burnished gold look, I do hit it with that Reichland Flesh Shade and then bring it back up to the silver, and I think that gives it a nice warm gold. But to separate, and I don't think the OSL would have worked very well if it was still shiny steel. You know what I mean?
No, but that's one of the issues I have with many of the metallic paints, and it's probably also the reason why I'm not enjoying painting TMM as much.
Right.
I think they limit the amount of contrast you can apply with them, because even if you take like a black steel or whatever the name, black metal paint, it's still not really dark because it's still a metallic. It's still quite shiny in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then obviously the brighter metallics are brighter, but the difference between those two is not as big as literally black and white.
No.
So adding actual other shades and other colors for highlights into that just expands the range of contrast you can have with your TMMs all of a sudden.
Yeah. I completely agree. I like, you know, some of these pictures here, you can't really see a lot of the highlights on the actual metallic unless you sort of walk around the model. Yeah. Because it's only picking, like, obviously the light has a big implication, but pretty much all of these edges were highlighted with a silver, you know. So again, you can't really see it on a photo. It's very difficult to see. But then
I can see it on the horses a bit on the neck area and the collar that they have in their necks.
Did I have a close up of the horses? I did. There, yeah. So you can see it a bit more. Like each of these has got it around here on the collar.
Yeah.
So I can see a mistake I made there. Look. The zoom of doom always reveals something, doesn't it?
Yep.
Oh god.
It's with OSL, that's fine.
So this was a fantastic project. I'm absolutely in love with the Tomb Kings right now, guys. I'm loving it to bits. But this has been getting me back into painting because I kind of have had a bit of a month and a half not really painting anything because of just had the baby and stuff. So it's just been a bit of a difficult one to try and fit anything in. So this has sort of brought my passion back, and then I've started cracking back on with some commission pieces. But that's me anyway. So A7, where do you want to jump in for your stuff?
Ah,
You want to go to the
either
orc?
is good. Yeah, we can start off with the orc first.
Orky boys. All right. So this is your latest.
That's my second entry for the competition.
Lovely.
As you can see, it's still not finished yet, but that's mainly how it's going to be looking like, at least the concept.
Just going to bump your audio a bit if I can.
Okay.
All right, carry on.
So yeah, the funny story about this piece right here is that I started it off quite late. I would say nearly a month ago. Because originally I had planned on entering a bus instead of this piece right here. And yeah, that's the thing. When sometimes you have a bad feeling, you have like a bad gut feeling, if you could call it like that. I just didn't feel like I had the time, or uh, I just feel like I couldn't do the bus in time.
Yeah.
But then I saw Snake Rod over here, and I was like, wait a minute, that's like a cool pose. Maybe we could do something with it, you know? You get that instant idea right on. So hence why I decided to pick this model.
He's very cool. He's
And
very dynamic.
yeah. And at first I put on a Primaris Marine in the front there, but I thought it was a bit too big. I thought it would be more funny if I put in a firstborn instead, so you
Right.
can see the size difference.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
chunky, doesn't he?
It's gonna be
Very cool. We've got a second picture as well, so we've got a slightly different angle here.
Yeah.
So the head needs to be finished, and you've got the armor and whatnot to finish off on this guy.
Yeah.
We've got a
I
smoke
still
grenade
haven't
here as well. Look.
redone. So the idea was the smoke grenade was the one that's distracting the marine. Hence, Snake Rod could backstab him from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's what I'm trying to convey.
Yeah,
I think it sells quite well, to be honest.
it's doing the job.
Like the Marine is looking over his shoulder towards the grenade, like the fuck is that, basically. And then he's obviously right behind them, ready to strike.
Yeah. Hopefully the judges will think like that.
You should 3D print like an exclamation mark above his head.
Yeah.
Like bling.
That would be funny, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Little sound box next to it with the Metal Gear sound.
Bling. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be class. Or like anytime that anybody walks past, it's got like a laser that triggers. Bling.
If you want to clarify the story you're telling with your piece, you can always go for something like a plaque in front of it, or paint it on actually on the plinth.
Okay.
If you like, you could literally just have something like, "Poor little Marine didn't see what was coming for him," something like that.
That would be funny.
Or like
I like that.
the hunter became the hunted. I don't know, something like that, to just clarify, like, oh,
That's
he's
what's
about to
going
get
on.
screwed. He
Yeah.
didn't know what.
That's
Poor.
actually a good idea, man. Seriously.
He's full of them.
That
Mark
Oh,
3 Marine
trying.
gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, you
cool.
could literally just paint that on the plinth, It could also it would also instantly give your piece a name, or at least like a title kind of thing. Because I remember we did that with he died, yeah, or just like you died in the Dark Souls font written. That also works.
Yeah.
But I remember we did that last year with Alan's piece for the competition, for instance. That we also came up with a name for it, and just thinking of that alone can also help you make the story more visible.
Yeah, that is true.
I like it. I want to see some nice bright colors as well from that smoke, like a colored smoke.
I was kind of I was a bit confused though. What should I just maintain a grayish smoke or a colored smoke? Because I didn't want to bring in a new color, you know.
Yeah.
I was I was a bit confused on what color if I wanted to add a color into it.
If you want to add a color into the smoke, you could go with like a neonish green. Basically like the same color that you have for the plasma.
Yeah.
Of the marine.
Okay.
It could be like a very big, vibrant color splash.
Yeah.
Because that's like the distraction, you know. Could even be the name of the piece as well. Is the distraction while I get up to you and stabbing you. But like you got to bear in mind that your eyes will, if it's very, very vibrant, everything will get pulled in towards that. But
yeah,
I kind of like that idea in a way because everything else is quite more of a grim, dark sort of look to it. And this is a big distraction, you know. It's like, what the hell is that, you know?
Like, the thing is, though, if you are going for super vibrant, keep in mind that, like, will it also have like a glow effect? Because then you need to add OSL to it as well.
Yeah. That could complicate things, but would look really tasty.
It definitely would, yeah. But it could also distract. Because I think the angle that you want the people to view your piece from is actually not this angle, right? It's more the angle we had in the first picture.
This one.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
So this area and then having your plaque on the bottom here. Okay. Well, that means that the smoke will still be there as because everybody's looking in that direction. So your eyes are drawn down there anyway.
Yeah, but if you would use that as your light source, you probably want to have more visibility for the smoke. So I would not give it any OSL, for instance.
Okay.
Okay.
I would, you know,
I would maybe keep it more simple.
I mean, it depends how much time you've got as well. You've got 2 weeks.
Yeah, but keeping in mind, I still have another model to finish.
We're about to get onto that, yeah. So don't want to overcomplicate it too much, do you? Yeah. So, do you want me to jump into that next one? Have you got anything else you want to mention?
I think we can move on.
Alrighty, so we'll jump into your next piece, which I have to say I bloody love this piece, mate. It's very cool. Got to tell us a little bit about this one, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the peeps here know that I'm a man of chaos, and this just screams chaos, you know.
Oh yeah.
Matties was talking about Arnold Lazaro just now on stream, and this was basically inspired by his painting. I made his paint job a reference for this piece.
Right.
It's not the same, but yeah.
Can you link us that piece so we can show everybody what you're referring to? Perchance.
Search. I'll probably have it in a sec.
For me, it kind of.
I can keep talking.
I'm kind of getting like Dante's Inferno vibes for some reason. Like, very much. All this chaos.
I can see that, yeah.
Everything else is like quite dark greys. Yeah, it reminds me like this guy's like underground or something, and it's a nighttime scene. that glow coming from the magma is very vivid, which I love. Love all the
There you go, Squid.
underside. Thank you very much. Did you put it in the chat?
Yes.
Merci. Okay, so let's just jump in on Instamaface. All right, yeah. So we can straight away we can see that reference there.
Yeah.
But the colours used, we compare the two. This guy's his seems to have a lot more warmth to it, while yours has a nice cold, warm contrast.
Yeah, I was thinking of the night being cold, giving it a colder feel to it.
You know, if we jump between the two, you can definitely see that as the difference. Like all the horns and the fur and everything is more brown. The top of the Karkadrak, I think the name of it is brown. But then you've got more blue black for your highlights on your armor.
Yeah.
I think the contrast for me is better. Well, I like what you've done a bit more on that front.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, I like a nice like dark, like blue black, blue red, warm and cold contrast on a model.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
just
I'm not. I'm still giving my respects to Arno. He's a god.
oh yeah, a god amongst men.
Yeah.
I mean, he won best in show at the recent MPO.
Oof.
Yep.
Standard, yeah. We wouldn't expect anything less, would we?
Yeah.
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 I mean, yeah.
Zelikas needs a better photograph. Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
On that front,
Are they
actually.
taking pictures at the comp, Celica? Do you know that?
Well, about that.
Because I know with SMC they don't have like official photographers, but there's always like hobby photographers going around, and like you can find, oh cool, this guy took like 1,400 pictures of all the entries during the weekend. Like nice.
The thing
Yeah.
about the photographers in the local competition, right? They only take pictures of the winners. That's all.
Right, okay.
So
Better
Oh,
bloody
you
win
know
then,
what to
eh?
do, right? Yeah, win, easy.
Setting the bar quite high, mate. Let's crack on. What are you doing still here? Get painting.
Yeah.
No sleep for you, sir.
God damn it.
So, I mean, what's your plan now to work on this guy? Because this guy does look a lot more finished than your other piece. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in the next 2 weeks?
Honestly, this piece I would say, like you said, mostly painted, but I just want to make it as smooth as I can. Like putting out the harsh transitions and whatnot,
Okay.
things like that, But yeah, I'll be mainly focusing on the orc because that needs a lot to be painted up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, this guy's so close to being finished. Do you not want to just finish him off? So close.
Thing. I don't know. I usually get the feeling that I want everything to be perfect the final day before the competition. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, yeah, my feeling.
Will those two models be entered in the same category at the competition, or are they? Is there like a dual or diorama or whatever category for the other one?
They're both in the same category.
Okay, which is Warhammer or
Warhammer, yes.
okay,
Okay.
because then, yeah, then I could see why, like Tom said, you might want to finish this one maybe first, so you have at least one entry that is as good as it can be. Whereas if you now focus more on the orc for the next 2 weeks and you have not enough time to do this one to your best, then you'll have maybe two models that are, or two entries that are a bit, you could do better on both. Whereas if they would go into separate categories, I would get why you would be like, yeah, but I want to have that one at least up to a standard where I can at least enter it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Okay.
see where you're going with that. Yeah,
Again, it's up to you also. Like, I mean, if you feel the orc more right now, then paint the orc, because that is also a thing, of course, with painting. You have to have
Yeah.
like a feeling for that model at that point.
you have to be enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you're looking at it like I look at basically every Bellacore out there, then don't paint it.
You said the name. Oh my god.
Yes, yes, I did.
Don't say it 2 more times.
If that means he will appear, then definitely no.
He'll appear in this world. Yeah.
God, I hate that model.
This is like something we have spoken about before, about like how to know when you've finished.
That's yeah.
It is a tough one.
It's impossible, I think. For me, how to know when you're finished is basically when I'm looking at it and I'm like satisfied with it, and I don't see anything that I could improve.
Yeah. Unless you
Problem
zoom of
is,
doom.
even then,
Yeah.
but the problem is obviously like the knight, for instance, that I've done. I'm really happy still with how the knight looks, but afterwards I've done the Mandalorian, and I've seen the effect of using the airbrush for NMM, and I'm like, ooh, I could go back and
Yeah.
try smoothing some stuff out and make it look
Yeah.
even cooler. But at the same time, I'm also very scared because now the whole thing looks the same in terms of style. And if you start adding that bit of smoothness with the airbrush, you change the style of parts of the model because I can't do it everywhere.
I
So
think
I'm
it's
like,
one or the other. I don't think you
probably
should
not.
always add,
Yeah,
because that textured, the brush strokes add to it.
exactly.
Like with what A7's done, there's no airbrush at all in this. It's all brush stroke. And if you were to go, right, I'm going to add some OSL, it would have made your life very easy to do the OSL with an airbrush. Like, at least doing getting that red and just going, and then start from there, right? Because you know where it all is. They are a good tool to save your ass, but it would change things. It would change things dramatically.
Yeah.
You would notice it has airbrush on it. And if you can use an airbrush and make a model not look like it's been airbrushed, you're onto a winner.
Yeah.
And obviously the same goes with time as well. Because now, for instance, I've painted a knight. I'm working on Bronco now, but the competition is 5 months away. So I might improve certain skills within that time that I'm picking up these models, and I'm like, I can do way better by now. I actually had that last year because I was planning to enter one of my pieces, Fatherhood, the 2 big dinos with the burning forest backdrop, into SMC. But by the time SMC approached, I had Donko, I had the 7 dwarfs, I had the puppeteer. And I was like, the dinos just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
The other pieces that I have are better, so I'll take the best ones that I got.
But you've still, you've got it. It's a record of your progress as a painter as well.
Yeah.
Like
And I'm still very happy with how the dinos look. It's just the base that is just not good enough at this point. So I might redo backdrop and base.
You could do it
enter
again
this year.
Yeah, like taking the backdrop out would be quite easy, I imagine.
Yeah, it's just cardboard glued on the plinth, so it's
yeah.
And
now you've got an airbrush, so you can do some more stuff.
Card, I mean, I had the airbrush for years already, but I tend to not use it that much.
I was thinking you could get like templates, and you could do like outlines of things through the airbrush onto a backdrop and be a bit cheeky with it.
Yeah, you could. Nah, but like especially for instance, for that model, the base was just very flat. Even though I added like 3D printed flowers and all that kind of stuff,
right?
It was kind of flat in terms of base level. So I want to add different heights and such, so that it really like looks like they're walking through something, and it's not just straight. They're definitely not walking through the Netherlands. It's a burning forest, so it's.
Well, before we cover the final little bit where we're going to talk a little bit about the event you're attending, I just wanted to say that the base on this A7 is outstanding, and it is really drawing my eye to it. But I love how you've integrated it into that, like literally painted on top of the plinth, isn't it?
I think Matties can verify this. it took me ages to think about that base there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just didn't know how to create that ledge, because you see
Yeah.
the top bit there, that was included in the box,
Yeah, I was going
but
to say this
behind it,
section is
yeah, I
you can't
at the
tell.
end of the day, you can't. Okay, that's good.
I don't think you can tell. I mean, it may be a little bit smoother here, but in a lava environment, you'd get that because like you get splashes of lava onto things, right? And then it creates texture, but it doesn't always do that. There are smooth areas. Like
Yeah,
if you look at magma fields, that's kind of there are nice smooth areas, maybe a bit further away from where the lava's moving. But it's great. I think you've done a cracking job, man.
cheers, mate.
And we're all very excited for you. I think everybody here is watching today is rooting for you, dude.
Thank you.
Have you seen any of the other entries for Malcolm? What are people working on?
The local Malaysian streamers, yeah. Uh, yeah, local Malaysian streamers, but since there's gonna be foreigners as well, so I'm not sure what to expect this year.
There are people traveling out to you. Let's go on to the topic
Yeah.
actually. Like, tell us all about the event itself. Is this the first of its kind? Is it just come about?
Um. Okay, so the event itself is called Malcolm,
Yeah.
and I believe they've run it for 4 years in a row already. And this year's going to be my second time entering.
Okay.
So basically, there's going to be participants from China, Korea, Japan, Singapore, Indonesia, basically around the Southeast Asia region. Uh, and then you got Australia as well. From what I heard, and yeah, I think it's fair for me to say it's the biggest painting event slash competition that we have here in the country,
Wow.
because a lot of the activities or uh, competitions are shop based, so it is not really big. And yeah, other than that, we got brands such as AK Interactive coming over here. We got some uh, I can't remember the name, Galapagos Miniatures, if you had heard of them.
Ah, nice. Yes.
Yeah. But the one thing that I will complain though is that there's too many military stuff in there.
I mean that always depends, of course, on like the area and what the hype is. I think SMC also started off as being it's kind of the name
Scale
skill model
model,
challenge,
yeah.
so the skill model stuff. So lots of
Yeah.
tanks, lots of planes, boats.
Mhm.
We all know Grey lost his planes, for instance. Like military dioramas and such. And only after a while took the dive into fantasy as well.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
get that, if that's where they're from, and if that's also what the audience that will be there is mostly fan of, that they have lots of that stuff there. Whereas
Yeah.
we might be the underrated category, or visitors.
Yeah, and I think I told you guys before that uh, Malaysia isn't the biggest when it comes to the Warhammer scene.
Yeah.
So anime and Gunpla are the top two, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
So
have
is that
expected less military, more Gunpla stuff, to be
that's what I
honest.
was thinking. I was going to say, is it going to be more? Is the anime category the biggest category, or however they've
Oh,
categorized
apparently
it?
no. The military is bigger actually.
Yeah. Curious.
They even got the Malaysian uh arm armed forces to come over and bring their tanks and stuff.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah.
So you get to see all that as well in person.
So it's
This
like
sounds amazing.
here's our nerdy, geeky painting competition. here's a tiger tank.
Yeah, check it
Yes.
out.
They even brought their firearms and whatnot, so we got to see their sniper rifles and whatnot. So that was kind of cool, even though I'm not like into army stuff, to be honest. But yeah, it was kind of cool.
Very cool, yeah. I mean, it shows that there's a demographic shift now, and it shows that this sort of kind of miniature painting is becoming, the word is prolific. You know, it's spreading and becoming more popular in the Asian region, which I really like to see. You know, this is really cool.
Oh yeah.
So you're in on the ground there, mate. So get in with all that crowd as it grows. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So who's travelling out to do classes? Because last podcast we were talking about classes, and did you say that they were running some workshops and classes at the event?
Yep. So last year we had Kaha. I managed
Kaha.
her. Kaha, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know her full name. I think she's Polish.
Katar
I think I know who she is. Yeah.
Katarzina.
Yeah, Kaha is very well known for
Yeah.
like super vibrant colors, high contrast.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely want to go and
So
get on go and watch. Yeah.
uh, so she was the judge and the one who gave a mini workshop, if you can call it that, last year. Uh, this year, yes, Dylan
Yeah.
Katarzina Gorska. Yeah. This year, Keigo Murakami, if you know him, I mean, if you've seen his work on Instagram, oh my god, he's gonna give a class on painting female skins. So that is definitely one I'm interested in.
Get on that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's supposed to be judging the figure category, so all the busts and whatnot.
Hmm.
Gonna be the judge of that.
I'm posting some stuff in the chat, in the Discord chat for the different workshops that they are, Tom.
Right, I'll pull these up on the stream. For
Yeah,
you
those
guys.
two are the classes that I want to go to. The first two.
Yeah, those are probably the three that are most interesting to us, and then it's like you said before, mostly gunpla and military building
Yeah.
and painting. Lots of building workshops actually, or demos.
Yeah. As you know me, I don't like building.
This is Darren Han. It's cut off the bit at the left side just the way I've zoomed in on the picture, but some excellent painters involved.
Yep.
Chekhovan Kangon, working on texture. Lovely.
Yeah, that's very cool. I
That is
like that one.
awesome.
Yeah.
Look at his cheeks.
But as you can see, they're like an hour each, so they basically sit down and probably have a camera on, I guess, and show you how they do it and talk you through it. But you don't
Yeah,
really get
exactly.
the time to actually do it yourself. So it's a little like demo, as it says on the page as well.
This seems
Yeah.
like a full-on how-to sketch, because it's like sketching
way.
in each step, get the colours, and then refining. Very cool. Very different approach. And then you've got Kaigo Murakami with the female skin. This is a very distinctive style, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the best part about this, Tom, is that they're free for anyone. So
Okay.
yes.
well, for us, we'd have to spend £1,200 on a ticket or something. But
yeah,
you know, if I were in that region, I would definitely be attending this, mate. This is you know,
entry to the camp is free. I saw, so that's a
is
plus.
it? That's cool.
Doesn't cover the flights and the stay there, but yeah,
that's awesome. He's disgustingly good. Somebody in chat said it. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a very good painter.
So get yourself down to all of those, A7, and when you come back, you're going to have to paint a bust which incorporates all of your classes into one thing.
Oh god
Yes.
damn!
Yes.
That's your homework. So-
Sounds like a plan. I think, let's see, a Gunnar, for instance, would be a good bust, I guess.
Don't remind me of that.
So, I mean, we've got to wrap up the stream because we're keeping it to an hour.
All right.
Oh, DLN says he'll give you a free lesson as well. You just got to fly over to him. You've got to pay your tickets
Oh,
to
you
get
said
over
just
to him.
have to fly me over, so you have to fly Dylan over to Malaysia.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Fly
So
him
Dylan
over.
can also enjoy the comp at the same time.
Well,
Well, I think we're actually going to have Dylan on for a future episode as well. So he's another amazing painter. So yeah, I think we'll wrap things up here. Is there anything you want to say while we're still here, Matties?
Keep on painting, peeps. Keep us updated on your stuff.
Yeah.
I know Dylan and Lizard and Bahanquast, if he gets the chance, actually will enter SMC this year. So many beautiful people
Ooh.
I'll hopefully see there.
Awesome.
And if you got any other comps, let us know.
Yeah, I think there might be some
Anyone
other
going
ones
to
coming up in
Contrast,
the
for
UK.
instance?
Contrast, is that a European one?
Contrast is in Poland, yeah.
We've got, I think there's one coming up in July. Fen Model Show. It's coming up in July
Fen
in
is
the UK.
nice, yeah.
Which I was thinking about maybe attending, but I think I might be at GriffCon, which is actually the same weekend. So if they've got, I think they will have a comp for GriffCon, but it's more amateur. So I might throw a piece into that anyway because I'm going. But if I wasn't going to that, I would consider trying to go to Fen as well. I think a lot of the British or the UK people try to go to that each year because that's an up and coming.
Yeah, what I've heard, there's quite a lot of people also from our communities going to FEM. At least the UK people are.
Definitely the UK people are going. Do GriffCon Friday, Saturday, and visit Fen on a Sunday. I could do.
That's
Alizarian plays, yeah. That isn't a bad shout. Although I'll have a wife and a baby with.
Are they close to one another in terms of distance?
I'm not sure. I mean, GriffCon's in Essex, so if it's on the way back from Essex, I think it's going to require a little bit of research and talk about in the next show. Fen's at Eli. We'll have to check it out. I'll bring a map up. So
that's like, it's in my holidays, and I don't really have holidays planned, so who knows?
Matties might be coming up for both then.
We'll see.
Up the A11 just north of Cambridge. Okay, so actually quite potentially I could hit up both. I've not even looked into the Fen at all. So I'm gonna have to get a piece finished for that, I think.
It's your first piece that you also bring to SMC. It's that's how it works.
We'll see. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
good Lord.
My homework.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say my homework for the next podcast is I'm gonna get this lady finished, which is the Neko Warrior. That's my plan. So I'm saying it here now, so that June's podcast, if I haven't finished it, you can all give me a load of shit in the chat. So I need to get that finished because it's been kind of hanging around for a while. So I want to get that done. And I'll probably do a little bit on the Team Kings, but nothing too exciting. And then I've got to box off the Karlak. Like I say, that's a commission piece, so that's just going to have pictures taken, go up on Instagram. And then I've got a load of Eldar to get on with as well, so I'll be busy doing my Eldar for the next few months. So how about you, Matties? What are you going to be working on before the next podcast?
Hopefully finish the shell of Bronco by the next podcast. We'll make a start on it probably tomorrow on my stream. But like I said, I also have my birthday coming up. I have planning a visit to Denmark and have TwitchCon next month. So I'm not sure how far I'll get. And at the same time, I have another one of these laying on the table.
Little distractions there, yeah.
Yeah, then I want to finish up for TwitchCon as well because that's hopefully making me some money. So yeah, I'll try to do the shell. but I'm not promising anything like you do.
Mine's a big promise. I was like, I'm going to do freehand all over that kimono. So, like, we'll see.
I remember that. Cherry blossoms, right?
Cherry, well, yeah, something
Yep.
similar. I'm going to have to get a crack
Oh,
with
that
that.
too.
So, well, yeah. Thank you, A7, for coming on and joining us. Best of luck. Next time we speak to you, it will be a post-competition conversation, I think, and see how you got on there. So,
Sounds
yeah.
fun.
All right, mate.
Thank you so much.
Lots of love to you and everybody who's been in chat with us today. This goes up live onto YouTube into the podcast category on YouTube, and you can also listen to it back on Spotify as well. We're up on Spotify, so drop us a like and whatnot, all of that jazz. We'll love you and leave you, and see you next time.